Very windy out, but the sun is just starting to come up over the mountains over there on the left, and I'm finally gonna go in, excuse me, the hives this morning. Actually, it'll be this afternoon. By the time I get in there, it'll be lunchtime, so hopefully the winds will have died down by then. And I did peek in yesterday. It was in the 50s. It was drizzling out, but I just opened the top covers and looked in to see if I could spot a cluster, and there is life in all 3 hives over there. Got right here on the left here, I planted 2 heirloom apple trees, and then there's 2 on the other side of the actually I think I did 3 on the other side. I've got to go check, but the previous owner had a pear tree here that was fairly mature and flowering, and it never fruited, and I don't think that they knew that certain varieties of fruit trees needed to have another tree within a certain distance to pollinate. So we removed that, and planning on doing maybe another apple tree or 2. I don't really want to block this section. We don't use this, but it's just good to have an extra access point. But this gets a good fair amount of sun. And the hives are doing well. You might be able to see there's some water coming out of a spillway right here, so that's some drainage coming off. The creek's going crazy down there, and then the pond is very full. Lots of water coming out, and we got over 4 inches of rain in the past few days. It's been a lot of rain. So the bees have been stuck inside, so I'm hoping they will be busy exploring and foraging while I do my inspections at lunch. I have not inspected these hives since October 28th last year, and today is Valentine's Eve, February 13th. I did peek in yesterday. It was fairly warm, but it was a little drizzly. Little bees are getting closer. And I did see clusters in all of these hives, so my goal right now is to find the queen, see some brood, and I guess there's 3 goals. Also reduce the amount of space that they have, because I imagine they don't need this much space, but maybe they'll surprise me, and we'll see. So I just inspected this one, saw the laying queen now, and this was the one I thought had a small cluster. It actually has a very lovely population, as does this one. And I have spotted her here, so that's 2 out of 2, brood in both hives, and really great honey stores as well. One of the things that I'm doing this weekend is extending the apiary. So since I've had these 3 colonies have successfully overwintered, that means they're most likely going to need to be split in the coming weeks, and I'm also going to set up a swarm trap next weekend, and that means I'm totally at capacity. I could squeeze another hive in there, but I really don't want to, and I may have mentioned this in some other videos, and I do want to do some separate blog posts and also some videos about this, but I've been reading a lot about biodynamic beekeeping and really spacing hives in a more natural way. So I personally would like to get to a point where I have 3 hives per bee yard, and by bee yard, that's just a collection of hives that's maybe 200 feet or more from another bee yard. So I do have the space to do it, but with the terrain here, it's very steep. I also don't have hard-lined areas to have a bare fence like I've got here, so I can tap into the electric here in the shed. But the other spaces aren't really set up for that. So what I'm planning on doing here is I usually enter on the other side of the electric fence here, and where the far third one is. And then what I'm going to be doing is right now we have a little fence post here attached to the shed, and I'm going to pull that out. I'm not going to do this today because it's just a very quick lunch break, but I got this rock here which I really would like to paint a mural on at some point. But I'm going to pull this out and extend the fence to here. gonna try and get down here so I don't fall. And I'll flip this around in a moment so you have a better view. And I will be fencing in this area here. So this is all south facing. So this is actually a more ideal spot. Plus you can kind of see where the sun is coming in, and it is midday, but when the sun comes up over the mountain, it's right over here, and so it would shine directly here. This would be the first light of the day. And I could fit 1, 2, 3, probably 4 more colonies, but I really don't want it to be too crowded. But I'm gonna have enough space set up for like an extra just in case. But let me flip this around and show you a little bit closer. You can see I've got the 3 here, and I could fit a 4th on the far end. And then this is gonna be extended, so past this rock here and all the way over. And we cut down this tulip poplar last summer, and it's growing back, but it would pretty much extend to this corner of the shed. And I don't really want to utilize space here because we use this for firewood, and then you know, more of our own foot traffic going through here. But the idea then would be to have all the extra hive stands set up here, and then I could put some really cool art up here too, just for fun. But the mural that I'd like to paint, if I don't fall down, as you can see, very steep, would be right here. So then have some nice view of some art and some bees. But yeah, there's just all this garbagey stuff. We actually removed a lot of stuff that the previous owners had left, but there's still some remaining pieces, so that will also be part of me adding this fencing, as I will move this out and we can drop that off at the dump. It's the next day, Valentine's Day, and I've cleared out this spot, which is what I was kind of demoing yesterday, where I trimmed off the tulip poplar shoots that were growing up. I got the fence posts in, and I realized I left all of the electrical tape, that white tape, back at home. So it's really good though that I got this set up, because just seeing the incline of the ground here, I'm gonna need some extra resistor clips. I forget what the actual name is, if that is the name. I'll show you one on the other side. I found we kind of dismantled a bit of the firewood storage that the previous owners had, and this is just the side of one of those, but it's in really good shape. I'll probably hammer down the nails that are sticking out here and get those more flush. I thought I had this straightened out here. Nothing is level right now. I just wanted to get a good feel for what I could fit in this space, and then also kind of stand over here and, you know, imagine how much room I'm gonna have walking past the air conditioner when I have the hive set up here. So I would probably put 2 hives on this bench, and then I set up, you can see the other cinder blocks here to do a 3rd one. I thought I would have had room for another. I guess I could potentially squeeze another stand in here if absolutely necessary. Really don't want to, but everything is very unlevel right now, so I don't think I'm gonna level stuff off right now. I think next time when I bring the tape and get the fencing actually secured, I'll take the time to level and really just kind of get those cinder blocks in the ground, so that I won't need to do too many shims on the hives once I move them into this space. But let me show you that other little resistor stand that I was talking about. And if you have any other ideas for how to better fence this, please let me know. I've got to bring that box in. It was an empty one. I was just waiting for sunset, but it looks like no one's on it, so I'll grab it in a second. But this little resistor thing, so we've got some scrap wood, and I'll bring some more of those clips out. And that's pretty much what I'll need on the incline on the new side of the fence. So you can see I've got room here to put another hive if absolutely necessary, but I'd rather not. I'm not sure if I'll be able to edit in some videos from some of the wildlife that I have some other videos I can link to. Like we had a fox touch the fence and jump off the hill here. But what we've been having is like possums, we've had armadillo, and they go right through. We had a raccoon, all of that recently. They go right through in between the tape. None of them have really bothered the hives. We actually had what we're trying to figure out what it is, but I don't have a good clear photo to share yet. I have had flying squirrels nest in the hive stands, but it has a different tail than a flying squirrel, and it's much larger than a mouse. So I'm not sure what it is, but it removed one of the entrance reducers a few weeks ago. But what I was trying to get at here is that we've got all this space under here, and it looks like, you know, there is like some old gutters and things under here, which we should probably remove. But we had 2 possum come through, and it's fairly rare to see a possum with another possum, except during breeding season, and January kicks off breeding season for possums. So I don't know if a mama possum's down here having, you know, her kits, but I found some of these pieces as I was moving the debris from the back there. So I was gonna see if they're long enough. I don't think they're gonna be long enough to block this off, because the critters are coming through and going underneath, or they're coming from under the shed and coming out. So we really wanted to block this space off just to keep, you know, any annoyances and keep the stress off the hives. That's my latest update here, and I will share more next time.